So my name is Johan Torell, and I work at Microsoft in our data and AI team. And today I'm going to talk to you about unleashing the power of your data to drive innovation. Many of you maybe was here to watch Annika speak, but she got sick last night, so I'm here filling her shoes. Kind of big shoes to fill, but I'll give it a try. I'm going to talk about unleashing the power of your data to drive innovation. It's really about finding where to start with your organization. How can you be an organization that is innovative and are using your data to to the fullest? I want to start off by talking a little bit about intelligent technology. And we as humans, we get smarter and more intelligent by learning, right? So we gather knowledge and get smarter. And the same goes with technology, really. Like, you get more data into your system, the system can get smarter, right? And this tagline here, amplifying human ingenuity with intelligent technology, that's actually our tagline for artificial intelligence. This is what we believe that artificial intelligence should do. And what it really should be is helping us humans to solve problems that we otherwise couldn't be solving, right? So we get another perspective on things with intelligent technology. We get the data perspective of things. We can solve issues that wouldn't be solvable by using big amount of data. And if it was for me, I would actually change the A in the artificial intelligence to assisted intelligence instead. Because that's what it's about. It's about helping us and be assistive to us to help us make better decisions. So why is this sudden change in data innovative? We at Microsoft, we see three big trends right now that really help speed things up. At the moment, we are creating massive amount of data. I read somewhere that in the last 2 years, we created 90% of all the data that we have today. In the last 2 years, we created 90% of all the data that we have today. We are connecting everything. We have IoT, Internet of Things, and we put sensors and chips into almost everything and send the data to the cloud and start processing it. So we have a massive amount of data. We're creating more and more every second. Everybody's connected really with phones and with computers and creating a lot of data. And another thing is big compute. Today you can really rent computers by the hour. You can really do calculations at a massive scale just for 1 hour and then turn it off. You can really start a project with an idea and you can turn it off the next day because the idea was a bad idea. You can really fail fast at this moment. And also we're getting a lot of more powerful algorithms at the moment. So the computers itself, it's getting better, right? We have, for instance, deep learning and really advanced technologies and algorithms that helps us today to use this data that we have. And this is really a great place to start for every organization. Like, how are you using your data today? Are you gathering all the data that you should be gathering? Are you not gathering data that you should be gathering? Or are you storing that data in a good place? Is that data accessible to the people that need it? Do you have a strategy for using modern technologies such as cloud computing and advanced algorithms, machine learning, artificial intelligence? And those are the questions. This is really a place to start for every organization that wants to get into the field of data innovative. So at Microsoft today, we're helping organizations and companies in every industry to really get better and to create a platform for their data. And we see it as 4 different pillars or 4 different areas where data is really making a huge difference today. So we have engaged customers, empower employees, optimize operations and transform your products. I'm gonna start off by giving you a few examples of this. So engage your customers is really about to get to know your customer. Are you gathering all the data about your customer that you should, and are you using that in an efficient way? For example, in another room over here, we have ComHem talking about how they can detect if a customer of theirs are at risk of dropping out of their agreement or dropping out of their business. So they could before it happens, engage with that customers and talk to them and maybe offer them a better deal. And really the same thing is happening in Tacoma University in the United States as well. They have at the moment a graduation rate of about 50%. And they need to know which of our students are at risk of not taking their graduation. We need to get to know them before they stop showing up at school, because then it's too late. You will not reach them if they are not in school, right? So with the same methodology, Tacoma University started to finding out which students are at risk of dropping out of school. And with just some simple, not that simple though, but with some machine learning, they are now up to 90% of graduation because they can find these students that are at risk. And empower your employees. It's really about, we've been talking about, if you've been to BI and other data conferences, we've been talking about self-service BI for some years now. And BI at every customer's fingertips is really, it's a good thing. But it's also about using modern technology to get to the next step. So at the moment in Kiruna, you know that they're moving the city to another place. They're moving it from point A to point B because of the mining industry. And CGI, together with us, created a solution to find out where their infrastructure is underground. Does anybody here know what a HoloLens is? It's a geeky crowd, so somebody should know. Has anyone tried it? It's pretty cool. So it's a pair of glasses that you put on that lets you see holograms in your field of vision. So with these holograms, you can really show the infrastructure underneath the ground to be able to help them to move the city. And for me, in my work, what I do at my job, I go to meetings, I send emails, and I build PowerPoints. That's what I do. and the thing is that now with the system that we have, Office 365, I get an email at the end of each week telling me, you haven't responded to your boss' latest email that was flagged urgent, you should get onto that. And maybe you should stop showing up at your team meetings because you're always just sending emails during that meeting, so maybe you should skip it. And your colleague that you're always stealing PowerPoints from have now created this really good-looking PowerPoint that you should look at because it could really help you out. That's the sort of information I need as an employee to really get good at my job. And that's the sort of tools employees today can have. There we go. And optimize operations. It's really about doing what to do today, but in a better way. So for example, we work together with Acando at Södra Älvsborgs sjukhus, or hospital, where they had this gut feeling that that patients that came in with pneumonia, they could be doing a better job with those patients. They didn't really know why they stayed for so long and why some of them didn't get better and so on. So they had this idea that something could be done better here. And without knowing the result of what they were really looking at, we started digging into the data. So every patient that came into the hospital with pneumonia, we started looking at. And what we could find out was, after using machine learning and a few algorithms, we found out that every patient that gets moved once or more during their stay at the hospital stay approximately 2 days longer at the hospital. And 2 days at the hospital, that's really costful for the hospital to keep people there. And just that knowledge that patients that come into the hospital with pneumonia, we shouldn't really move them. We should keep them, if possible, at the same place always. That's those kind of insights that you could be getting out of your data. And one of the most fun part, I think, is transforming products. It's really about what new services and products could be created with the insights from data. So we really, like a few years ago, everybody was talking about what's the Uber or Airbnb of your business, who are using their data at a better way and get the upper hand. And today, we see a lot of big companies making this shift towards a more data-driven or data-innovative kind of service situation instead. So for example, Rolls-Royce, they used to sell huge engines for aircrafts, right? But now they shifted their total sales to be about selling aircraft or flight hours as a service instead. Because they know their data, they know how their engine works, they know when they need maintenance, they know how to get service and fix the engines, so they can sell the service instead of the engines. And the same thing goes with Sandvik Coromant, which is what you see here. It's a drill from Sandvik. They know everything about their drills. They know the temperature. They know when they need to get fixed. So they're gone from selling big, huge production facilities to just sell production as a service instead. You can go from selling the thing to really the service. So what's really happening in your industries today? What are those changes that you could be using instead? So I would like to go back to this slide and talk about the platform that you should build to be able to be innovative. Massive data, big compute, and powerful algorithms. How are your company today using these to get better? The thing about powerful algorithms, it's really, when we look into the future, we really see that every company should get even a, how do you as a company, do you have a governance model for the algorithms that are created within your organization? Who is responsible for the algorithms that you are creating? So within this platform thinking of data, you should have those things in mind as well. And these are the 4 areas that we think that you as a company could start using data as fuel for your innovations. And you should look within your organization and really find where do you find the things that you could start using immediately. But the most important thing here is really collaboration. Like, you need to put a data scientist next to Steve from HR to get them to talk to each other. How can someone from HR be using your data better? How can they really make sure that the right person is at the right position at your job at the moment? You can really use data in fields where you are not thinking about data. But the most important thing of all here is really to get started right away. Like, this is a field where I know that some organizations are leaning back and just maybe waiting for a more complete view of this field, like to get fully scaled services to land on their lap just to start using. But I think if you're waiting too long, it will be too late. The train is going now, so to speak. And that was all I had to share with you.